Good afternoon, it's Betty Shan. I thought I would join with you a little while today. I've had another blessed day. I hope you've had a blessed day, and I want to say all these little messages I'm getting on my iPad and everything, it just makes me so happy. I've got so many writing me, and I just love every one of you. There's not a one of you I can say I don't love. I just feel like I love you all. And I'd like to be able to call everybody's name like Kathy and Susan, and I'd like to go through the list. But I always leave somebody out or I'll mispronounce a name, and I'm doing good to do what I do. So let's just see what will turn up today. I've just spent the last few weeks, my anniversary would have been the 18th of October, and me and Edgel Shan would have been married 56 years. But we didn't get to live together but 50 years, and the Lord seemed fit to take him home. But I want to tell you something I've thought about today of all the things that has happened in my lifetime, and different things that's went on that we always think when we get married we'll be happy ever after. Well, I'm here to tell you, young girls, that you're not ever going to be happy ever after. There's always problems popping up, and how you tend to them and how you handle them depend on whether you have a house or you have a home. There's a lot of difference in having a house and having a home. A home is where your heart's at. But a house is just where you go sleep and eat and go to work and go to school and do the everyday routine. But you need some love in that home. I know I can remember times that I'd been in the kitchen cooking and slaving away over the stove, or I felt like I was slaving away over the stove, and one of my little girls would come in, and they'd be dragging a little doll behind them, and they'd say, "Mommy, my baby's crying, you need to kiss it." And I'd stop and take time to kiss that doll. And that was not just important to me to show her that that's how you tend to a baby. You love a baby. And I remember walking in on Mr. Shanna many a time, and him sitting in his recliner in the living room, and he might have a book laying beside him where he'd been reading, but he had laid that book aside, and he was sitting there holding a baby doll and loving on the baby doll, showing them how to tend to their babies. And you know, there's a lot goes into a home, and there has to be love in the home. We have to learn to forgive. And a lot of people say, well, you forgive and you forget. I'm sorry, you can't forget. But we can forgive and go on, and let things drop that needs to be dropped. Because if we don't, we cause more problem and more friction in our home. And I have come up with this great idea. Like my husband says, oh no, here we go again. But I think we ought to have a stepmama and a stepdaddy holiday. They are to be a holiday to honor the stepmothers and the stepdaddies, because you take on someone else's children, and I can promise you, I don't care who you are, you're going to find a little friction there. People resent you, and they don't want the kids loving you like they would love their own, and but I think we need a holiday to honor the stepmothers and the stepdaddies out there. And also let's put in their adoptive parents, because I feel like they need to honor. You know, it's great to honor your mother and daddy, but when another person has went out of their way to raise you and to try to lead you right and to give you a good life, there is special honor due there. I think that's just how I feel, and I just had to put my 2 cents in there. But I remember many a time that things has happened. If I would have had Lynette, my first daughter, Edgel's oldest one, if I'd have had to give birth to her, I would have been in the 9th grade. And I stepped into a situation where I had 2 little girls and a husband. I got married on the 18th of October. On the 19th of October, I was a mother and a wife. And I want to tell you, that didn't come easy. That was hard work, and it just seemed like you just work yourself to death trying to make a home for their children. Of course, I'm not saying that some of them hadn't come back and told me thank you for what I done for them and everything, and I loved them just like they were my own, but it didn't come easy a lot of times. And it's not going to come easy for you either, even if you don't have stepchildren. When you get married, don't think the world is just going to be a bed of roses, because it's not. Because if you look real close, every one of them roses has got a thorn on them, unless you've got a special bred rose. And I don't know whether you can even get them without a thorn or not, but I know that there's thorns on them roses. And I want you to have a good home. I want you to be blessed. I want God to be the center of your home. And prayer is the number one thing. You've got to keep yourself prayed through, where you can handle these situations when they come up. We've got to learn to control our tempers. We've got to learn to just take things and let it roll off our backs, because this is life. This is not the dream of happy ever after. Like I said one time, I said, I married a man that had 2 kids, but really the third kid was the husband, and he was the biggest kid of all. And of course, he'd laugh about that. And but there's a lot to having a home, a lot more to having a home than just getting up and going to bed and living in roses all the time, because it just don't happen. And I want to encourage you that you can have a good home. Don't let anybody tell you you can't, but it does take work. You have to work at it. It don't come easy. And I just want you to have a blessed day today. And just remember, there's somebody out there rooting for you. You have a good life. You have a good day. And you stepmothers, keep your head up and do the best you can, because someday them children will come back. They will come home, and let them call you blessed. Keep your chin up and live for the Lord. Bye.